Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Utah and the Great Salt Lake. Most of what we're going to go over is like much of the news that we've been covering about water supplies in the United States. It is not good news. However, in this case, there is a little bit of good news if it's acted upon. If the information is applied and Utah acts, there's some good news here. But before we get to that, what's the situation? The new survey suggests that the Great Salt Lake will be here for about 5 more years. That's it. After that, it's gone. The time to fix this is now, not 5 years from now. Currently, the lake has lost 73% of its water and 60% of its lake bed is exposed. These are really, really bad numbers. In order to get to where the lake starts to replenish itself, the cuts that would have to be made to water usage in the Great Salt Lake watershed are about 50%, about half. I'm going to go ahead and call this now. It's not going to happen. That won't happen. People still have not accepted the realities yet. So I find it incredibly unlikely that cuts of that nature will be made. So that's even more bad news. People just aren't ready for it yet. It doesn't matter. These things are still happening. Even though a dry salt lake would lead to about $1.7 to $2.2 billion per year in economic damage, they won't be willing to make the cuts. And that's just the money. The lake bed, the particles that would get blown around in the dust from the wind, that's not good stuff either. Really bad for the respiratory system. Okay, so what's the good news? There's a chance. For once, there's actually the resources to correct this issue if they act and act now. This year, Utah has had an above average snowpack, like wildly above average. Right now, they're sitting at 170%. They have to figure out a way to get the stuff from point A to point B. That's what matters. And they can help shore up the water in the lake. Is it going to fix it all? No, but it will buy more time to mitigate. This is the chance. This is the chance. If they miss it, it's probably done. So if you're in Utah, now's the time to be calling your representatives. Now's the time to be calling state officials. Because they're going to have to do this before the snow melts. They're going to have to figure out a plan, and they're going to have to do it quickly, and they're going to have to get it in action. Other than that, the other ideas that have been floated around include like pipelines. One I saw was so old that the idea was to run a pipeline from the Colorado River. That's not going to happen. They don't have it to give up. We're going to have to make those water consumption cuts. We're going to have to make them in a lot of places. I know that's not what people want to hear, but it's one of those things that is going to happen. The snowpack gives Utah just an amazing opportunity to start to correct this issue. And they don't have a lot of time. I mean, once it's dry, it's dry. So, again, not a lot of calls to action on this channel. If you're in Utah, yeah, you should probably be sending emails and calling people. because this is one of those things. It isn't. It's not part of the culture war. It's not headline grabbing, and in Utah, that's what's going to matter. This is going to be one of those things that is far more devastating than anything this state is looking at right now, and they're probably going to ignore it. This is their chance. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.